Good evening, everyone. My name is highrisk Malone. I am the Vice President of the West Garfield Park Youth Council, and we believe that we are the solution to the issues in our community. Our theme is Nothing With Us Without Us. The West Garfield Park Youth Council is sponsored by Fathers Who Care, which is a nonprofit organization located on the west side of Chicago within the West Garfield Park community. Again, everyone, my name is highrisk Malone, and I am the Vice President of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. We invite people from all over, especially young people, to come in and see what we are all about. Our show will be scheduled every Thursday at 7 p.m. Again, that is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Our show can also be viewed online at www.cantv.org/live. Again, that is www.cantv.org/live. Everyone, I would like to introduce Yafe Cotton, a senior at Michelle Clark Magnet High School. Just say that you. Okay. Thank you for being a guest on tonight's show. Again, my name is highrisk Malone, and I am the Vice President of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. You are watching a live interactive call-in television program brought to you on CanTV 21. During the next 25 minutes, we are going to discuss being the change we want to see in our community. So today's topic again is being the change we want to see in our community, and now I have a few questions for you. So, who are you, what represents you, and what are your values?
Okay, as you said, I'm Yafe. I'm a senior at Michelle Clark, and I'll say something that represents me or what my values are optimism, positivity, family. Those are just a couple few, because I feel like you can't go through life always being sad, or, life has ups and downs, so you might as well look at everything on the bright side. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's how I just roll through life. And then I have my family because I love them. Like, they're just like a big support system. So I do a lot of things like for them to like give back or like just show them like that they can do the same thing as me.
Mm-hmm. So what is your purpose for existing?
My purpose for existing, I would say I want to be somebody like that lives like a big legacy on the world. Or like everybody I come across, I want to impact them or like touch them, and where they like be like or say that I had a positive impact on them. Or they could have something like value like left after our conversation or like our interaction. Mm-hmm.
So what did it take for you to rank number 1 in your senior class?
It was a lot. I'll say it was a lot of sacrifices, a lot of just staying up super late, a lot of doing extra things that a lot of kids weren't doing. So like if it had to be like college classes, dual credit classes, trying to get my GPA higher, or extra programs outside of school, summer internships, just a lot of things that just, kept me on a straight path.
Okay. So why is it important to have programs in high-risk communities for young people to be a part of? And for people who don't know what a high-risk community is, would you mind explaining it?
Okay, I'll say a high-risk community is a community that is in poverty, that has a lot of like violence, a lot of drugs, a lot of people just unemployed or like not doing a lot of things. A lot of people, a community with like not enough role models, I say. Mm-hmm. And I feel like extracurricular activities outside of school or in school will benefit the community, because it'll allow the kids to try to find their passions or purposes. Like they wouldn't just resort to like what they see. They could like explore their horizons, like their mind or whatever. Just learn new things, I would say.
Mm-hmm. So what do you feel are some positive things for young people to do to keep them away from violent acts and away from drug use?
For me, it was sports and like just being around the right people or the right environment. So a lot of just get involved with, I don't know what a lot of people like. I'd say maybe some people like drawing or poetry or writing. So for me, it was just sports. I always played football and basketball and did track, so that just kept me.
Do you still do that now?
Yeah, well, football season's over now, but I'm in track season now. So.
Okay. Are you a part of any extracurricular activities that help you stay off the streets?
Well, I wouldn't say I was somebody who was out like on the streets, but football was something that I just grew up with, so I always wanted to stick to it. And football, you learn a lot of values. I feel like from a lot of sports, you learn values of like community, like valuing your community. You learn how to interact with others. You learn how to how to time manage, because as an athlete, there's a lot of things that you gotta do. You gotta sometimes work out 2-3 hours a day. Then you gotta get in your schoolwork. Then you gotta try to find time to maybe hang out with some friends. So it just teach you a lot of things.
So for kids who will be like, oh, it's probably too much work, or kids who aren't easily dedicated to something, what would you say to them to like help them be like, oh, like this really helped me and this could really help you too?
I asked them what they want out of life. Like, do they want to live a life? Like, do they want to live a certain life, or do they want to live this life? And like ask them about what motivates them, or who the people that they really want to make proud, or just what makes you proud type thing.
Right. So do you feel like mental health plays a big part in that type of stuff, and kids wanting to avoid extracurricular and stuff because of stuff they have going on?
Yeah, I could say mental health is a big, because if your mental health is not up there, or it's not right, you're not gonna be able to function. I feel like that's the most important thing.
Right.
Like, because if you don't got your mental, you're not gonna have the physical, because you're not gonna feel like want to do anything. You're not gonna want to eat. You're not gonna do a lot of things. So I say that's what kept me going, like trying to keep my mental health and sane and just staying positive. That's why I said optimism is one of my core values.
So how did you stay positive again? You said help your mental health stay in check.
Just always looking at things on the bright side and just staying positive with things, like, because everybody goes through stuff in life, and it's just based on like how you're gonna react to it. Are you gonna make this your excuse of why you didn't do what you wanted to do, or are you just gonna change the outcome?
Right. So why do you think education is so important for young people in your community?
I feel like that with education, you gain knowledge, and knowledge is power. So if you have that knowledge, you can do whatever you want to do. And for me, I want to like live a life of my choosing, and just basically like whatever I learn, be able to apply it to, a certain career, certain things or aspects of life.
So what about kids who they grow up in a family of, let's say they grew up in a family of violence, or who used substance, who did drugs and things of that nature. So it was like in their nature to want to do that too. So it's hard for them to come out of that.
But I believe you honestly don't have to be a product of your environment. And for me, I seen a lot of things growing up that I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like that. So I just use that as like a motivation too, to like change my view on life, or just not be like other people, I say.
So how can we collectively work together to reduce senseless violence, substance abuse, and poverty on the west side of Chicago?
Can you restate the question?
How can we collectively work together to reduce senseless violence, substance abuse, and poverty on the west side of Chicago?
I'll say the people that actually make it out, or like have a good career, or just feel like they're set for life, or set in life, and they're positive with life or their outcomes. I feel like they shouldn't just leave, and they should actually come back and try to help out the community, and try to like be mentors for people or role models. So those kids who feel like they can't do certain things, they can like look up to them.
So what about people who feel like they'll leave and they feel like it's not safe for them to come back because they have all this money, and they feel like, oh, I'm probably a threat, or I might try to go help and I might get robbed or something like that? What would you say about people like that? Because there's a lot of people try to tell them like, come back or help the community. They'll come back like once or twice out of the year, and that won't be enough. And it's like, it's still the same as when they grew up. The same way that they rapping about how it was, it's the same way.
I feel like it's the way you approach the situation you come. Like, if you know it's a dangerous neighborhood where everybody's trying to get something from you, or like rob you or something, come as like a regular person. Like, don't make it seem like you like bigger than somebody. Like, try to actually connect with those people, and I feel like that just maybe help it out. That's a hard one though, I think.
Okay, and what about the substance abuse part?
Substance abuse.
You know how drugs affect kids mentally in school, how it drains them, but they feel like it's helping, but in the long run it's really...
Yeah, in the long run it's really messing them up.
Yeah.
I've never really been, but like I'll say, like, it goes back to the mental health part. Like, try to figure out what makes you happy, what are your passions, or like, something that motivates you, because obviously though the drugs are temporary, they're gonna wear off.
Right.
But if you actually find that inner peace, is gonna always stay there because you know the truth about yourself. You know why you feel this way, or just I feel like they should probably try to be more self-aware or understanding themselves. So
Yeah, but that's not as easy as it sounds, you know.
I just never, I don't know. It's just, I just feel like I was me myself. Like I always been like self-aware, somebody that if I seen something that didn't look like it was going the right way for somebody,
Mm-hmm.
I just like be like, okay, I noticed that. Let me be aware. Let me be emotionally intelligent, and try to steer away from that. Because me growing up, I got so many friends that do drugs or do that.
Mm-hmm. But you never.
I've never got tempted by it because I knew like what I wanted to be like, and if I feel like I did, I feel like I don't know. I actually like noticed that it wasn't really helping me.
Yeah, I understand
just
that
shielding
too.
everything down.
Yeah, I understand that too because me also, I have a lot of friends who do that, and I was never tempted by it either, and that took me a long way because I feel like, oh, if I try to go down this road or try to experiment because it sounds fun,
Yeah.
because like I had a friend, she was like, oh, I never felt better. You should try it. You have to try it, and I was just like, okay, like I was saying okay, but I wasn't really gonna do it, and it was just like I was just stuck like in this box, like I was like in a corner because it was like these are my friends, but at the same time I knew that no friend of mine would ever try to convince me to do something that they know would be physically bad for me and mentally bad, because even though it helps in the moment, like drugs could like don't it like stunt your brain development.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to really stay away from that. So has that ever come across you as well?
Yeah, like like a lot of my, like just growing up, a lot of friends that I had like do drugs and they tried to tempt me to do it, or like ask me to do it. It's like I just stood firm because it's like something that I don't feel like it actually helped me, or I don't really need that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then if I did have problems, because everybody goes through stuff, I just feel like I should go to it myself. Like, don't use something to like shadow it or just shade it off. Like, you actually need to reevaluate yourself and understand yourself before you.
Because at the end of the day, it's still gonna be there. Like you could have this moment, and then you could be in your room and you letting it have its effects, and then when you snap out of it, even while you have the drugs, the problem is still going on.
Yeah,
You're not solving it. You're just making it worse. And it's like people don't realize that. Well, they do realize it, but they'll be like, oh, the pleasure that I'm getting from it is more to me than fixing the problem because it feels better, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's exactly how it is.
So what is your favorite subject and why?
English is my favorite subject, and that's because I don't know, I just like writing and just expressing like certain things, or expressing myself, or expressing like a book or something. I just really like analyzing things through writing and things like that. So
analyzing things. Have you ever wrote anything?
Yeah, I write a lot, so that's why.
Do you read books too?
Yeah.
Like what?
Right now I'm reading Count of Monte Cristo, but yeah, I don't think anybody know what it is.
Explain it.
It's a book where it's like it's kind of like a vengeance book. It's kind of crazy. I don't want to go too deep into it, but yeah, it's basically like there's a white version of it, which was like basically like not real, which was based off a black character, and they like just basically made the white version of it. And yeah, I'm reading that. Then after that, I gotta go to the actual real version of it because it's an actual real dude.
Oh, okay. So what made you get interested in books?
I feel like books really like they make me like how can I say it? It's like I get more understanding from reading. I would say like
understanding of what, life?
Yeah, life in a way, and then reading does teach you a lot of lessons because the author like puts a lot of like thought into their work and just messages that they're trying to convey from the book. But then like my literacy, it just helps me with like learning new words, because like if I see a word that I don't understand, it's like I gotta search it up. But then like if it's a part of the book that I'm like, what just happened, I gotta go reread it because it just helped me become like more like I can't describe the word right now, but it just helps me a lot.
So do you ever have like problems where you will read something and then it'll like go blank? Did you ever figure out why that happened?
Nah.
That never happened to you?
Nah, like read something and then they do.
Yeah, like you could read something and as you reading it, you forgetting everything that you just read in the moment of reading it.
Nah, cause like when I read, I actually like try to understand like everything that's happening. So
Right.
I take.
So
my
you've
time.
always been interested in books.
Yeah, it's just something I just like doing. That's why.
So do you plan to further your education, and if so, what will you major in, and what is your school of choice?
Okay, so I'm a Posse Scholarship Award winner. So I'll be attending Pomona University in California next year. Well, this fall. So
And
then,
what is Posse?
Oh, Posse is a scholarship where it's where they select like 10 students out of a certain city, and then they send y'all all to a university for full tuition, like full tuition paid for and like fees.
Wait, so only 10 kids out of the whole state?
Out of Chicago, yeah, basically.
Oh, so how
but like
many?
the Chicagoland area, yeah.
Oh, that's a big. How do you get picked for that?
So you gotta be nominated from
By your school?
Yeah, you gotta be nominated from your school. Then there was like a 3 or 4 round selection process where you have to do interviews with other kids that was nominated from their schools.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last interview, it came down and it was like the last 20 kids. And then the school there, and then like the admissions people and the Posse people, and then they pick from there in the last interview.
So, what is some advice you can give other high school students that are having a hard time in school with their studies?
I'm having a hard time right now. Senioritis kicking in. I say find the reason you're doing it for. Like try to find out like who motivates you.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's just I know my goals and my passions. I know my aspirations in life. So it's like I can't just let this stuff affect me. I have to actually keep pushing, I would say. So yeah, that's what I would say.
But what about most kids who don't look like? It's a lot of kids who can't just see something and be like, oh, okay.
When you can't see it,
Yeah, like it's like you know how people.
Yeah, honestly, I know what you.
Yeah, it's easy for them to see their future and be like, okay, I know what my future gonna look like. This how I want it to be. Other kids say that they want something, but they can't picture it. So it's like they don't know what they don't really know what they're running towards. They just know what they want the end to be. Oh, I want to be rich. I want to have a car. I want to have a mansion. I want to do this, but they don't have a process. Like they don't have steps before getting there. Like you can't just get there with nothing.
So
like with no.
Basically, like the kids who don't see it for themselves or can't vision it.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, that's what most people struggle doing, because a lot of people they'll see kids who don't have as much hope or don't have as many goals, and they try to help them and they try to like push them into seeing their own future. But it's like you can't make nobody see their own future because it's them.
Yeah, you gotta see it for yourself.
Exactly.
Even if it's not around you, even if nobody's believing in you, like you gotta know for yourself that if this what you want, like this, that you gotta just do the steps or try to find a way to get there.
Right, because it's no easy way in, because life isn't easy. If life was easy, everyone would be successful. Everyone would have what they ever wanted. There'd be no poverty and things of that nature. But it is because life isn't as easy as people try to play it out to be.
I say, for me, like I kind of knew what I wanted, because like I look back, I wrote in my notes in my phone like freshman year, like all my goals that I wanted to accomplish senior year. And like when I look back on it now, it's like, wow, like I really wrote this.
And
it's
you
like,
did it?
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know, I just try to envision yourself in that, or like just even if it's something crazy, just like envision yourself doing it and write it down and just push towards it every day.
So you still have those notes to this day?
Yeah, it's
what
crazy.
Were they?
So it's literally what it is now. So it was go to a prestigious university or college, be number 1 in my senior class, school fully paid for. Like literally when I look back at my notes, I was like, that's crazy. Like I almost like the whole time I almost cried. But I'm
okay,
like,
so it's this thing where people will say, it's like they weren't the smartest in their class, right? And they took the PSATs and they got like a 420, but their scores were mixed with like a 1920 or something like that. I don't know what the highest is. But since the man didn't have that high of a score, he wasn't that smart, but he came out to be a successful person because he had in his mind, like, I'm a 1420 or whatever the score was, like, that's what I am, that's what I got. I feel like people could say something and then they believe it so much that they feel like they are that person, and they start going around as that person and start acting off as that person, doing what that person would do. Like, you could see yourself like number one in senior class. What would the number one senior in his class do? And you probably was doing that at a young age and knew what you needed to do. So I feel like that play a big part in it too.
Then you don't have to be smart, because I wouldn't say I'm smart. I just understand myself and understand what I need to do to get to where I want to be.
Right.
And yeah, like even the SAT stuff, I didn't have like a super crazy score. It was good, but like it wasn't something that you'd be like, oh, let me tell somebody. It's just,
it was like an average score.
yeah, it was just something, like, I'm not like a genius or nothing. It's just I apply like that hard work to life. That's all really what it is. It's about strategizing and stuff like that. Like, I say I did a lot.
So you believe in growth and fixed mindset?
Yes, I know for sure I don't got no fixed mindset. I know fixed mindset is not like the way. Like, I just say I always believe there's room for improvement, and just always try to be like, even if you're not good at something at the moment, like, don't give up on it, like, because
it's room to improve.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't be that type of person, because that's kind of downing yourself, and that may that's like setting a bad example. Like, say if you even got younger siblings, that's setting a bad example for.
Exactly, because it's the energy that you putting off. Like, oh, you could be like, oh, I want to learn how to do this, but I can't do that. But people who people who know how to do that weren't born with that ability. Exactly. They had to learn it from somewhere. So it's like, that's not possible to just be born with knowledge. And it's like, you don't have to have wow, what was I finna say?
Like, you don't have to have like those skills or like those
like
things
you don't,
already, basically.
Exactly, like, you don't have to have these skills, or you don't have to be like born with the want to do something. Oh, I mean, with the need to do something. You could be like, oh, I want to learn how to do that, and you can do that. Like, people aren't just,
It's a lot of stuff that I didn't learn, like, just from trying it. Like, I might not be the best at it, but at least I tried.
But at least I tried to do it, exactly. So, like, what weren't you good at that you are good at now?
I wasn't always good at school. Like, honestly, I was not always good at school. I literally had to sit in the summertime, be like, what grade was this? I was young. I was young though. I was like probably like 6th, 5th grade. But yeah, I was behind. Like, I was behind like a lot of kids, and basically I had to sit in the summertime and sacrifice going outside for some hours and read books and like actually try to get better at school. Then
so you at a young age made the dedication to
it. Yeah, because I didn't want to be that kid like that was like it's real life. People make fun of them, Exactly. So I didn't want to be that.
So you didn't want to be the person that people laughed at or something.
Yeah, or like, yeah, I just didn't want to. I just wanted to be the best version of myself, and I didn't feel I feel like I was being that. So.
Okay, I can see that. So, if you are just tuning in, our guest tonight on the show is Yafe Cotton, and we are discussing being the change we want to see in our community. We would like to thank our viewers for watching, and if you want additional information about our youth council, please contact us at 773-287-5821 and ask for Miss Princess. Thank you, and tune in next week, same time, same station, for our guest Brian Pope, a motivational rapper, and I will see you guys next week.